Hello again, everyone. My name is Paragammer, and here I continue my Fallout 3 playthrough. Right now, I'm completing the Wasteland Survival Guide, starting the third part of the quest. But before anything else, I level up to level 7 and took Bloody Mess. I heard that YouTube doesn't like this perk because it's too, well, bloody and messy, but the extra damage is very good. The next step is to go to the Arlington Library and retrieve the library archives. Discovering the place is very useful as we can find a good source of outcome involving the preservation of good literature.
Hold it. This area is under the authority of the Brotherhood of Steel. Leave immediately. Precisely. The collected knowledge of a lost age is worth far more than any weapon. So, return here with any books that you find in good condition. I will compensate you for every volume that you bring me. Think on it, and return when you have books to offer me.
Clearly, Lion's chapter of the Brotherhood haven't met McNamara's chapter, as there's a stupid amount of pre-war books in the Mojave. I always thought that was very ironic. Regardless, Scribe Yearling will pay me 100 caps for every pre-war book I can find. So it's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Now, I can only download a partial copy of the library archives using the terminal on the front desk. So I'll need to venture further into the building to get the rest. Despite how calm the front desk is, there's actually a raider gang inhabiting the library and putting a good fight against the Brotherhood. I might as well help my fellow power armor enthusiasts wipe this scum out of this place.
Ooh, gotta fight.
Tear your fucking throat out!
Damn, I forgot how often Bloody Mess activates. Once I reached the computer I need to use, I killed a raider that had a missile launcher, another excellent weapon for my collection. After I gave Yearling all the pre-war books I had found thus far, I returned to Moira and got the next task. Now I needed to go to Rivet City and learn about its foundation. Here I can also do the Replicated Man quest and get 2 excellent rewards. But since the Jefferson Memorial is on my way, I decided to wipe out the super mutants there, since I'll have to do that later. After the carnage, I got enough experience to level up to level 8. I make sure to put melee weapons at 90, so I can get the rest of the points using the bobblehead. The remaining points I put into repair, so I can get more damage out of my weapons. As for the perk, I get strong back, so I can carry more weapons, namely the Fat Man and the Gatling laser when I get them. Once I arrive to Rivet City, I just need to talk to Seagrave to learn about Pinkerton, one of the founders of Rivet City. He's also important for the Replicated Man quest.
After that spat with the science team, he used to have a storage shed in the broken-off bow of the ship. We always thought he was crazy for keeping stuff there. Might have kept a couple records down there, I guess. Careful, though. Ship's a bit treacherous down there in her belly.
Speaking of which, I go talk to Dr. Zimmer, and he tries to convince me that androids are not slaves. I didn't like what I hear from him, so I go look for someone who can tell me where I can find this missing android, so I can warn them.
Someone's idea of a practical joke. Story was there was an android, escaped from the Commonwealth up north, from someplace called the Institute. There was a holotape that got circulated. I think I've got a copy of it. Yeah, here it is. Give it a listen. That's a man's voice. Hoax for sure.
Morning.
Now, speaking of slaves, I run into May Wong, who tells me something concerning.
I suppose it doesn't matter if I tell you.
I used to be a slave. I saw a slaver on this ship. His name is Sister. I'm afraid he's after me.
I'll crack Sister's skull later, but now I must go find Pinkerton. He's on the sunken part of the ship, which I entered by swimming into a secret door. I always drown when trying to get here, but surprisingly it was smooth sailing.
I suppose you can't be all that bad if you made it this far without dying. This is the part where you tell me what the hell you are doing bothering an old man who obviously wants to be left alone. Get on with it already.
I first ask him about the foundation of Rivet City, and he gives me some records that Moira can use. Then I realized I had the wrong holotape, and the one I needed was all the way back in Megaton inside Nathan's house. I remember I could get this one somewhere in Rivet City, but I forgot where exactly. But once I got the holotape I needed, I went back to Pinkerton and finally find out who the android is.
Well, there is something else you could use. Look, I didn't really wipe his memories, okay? I just sort of filed them away, but you can get them back. All you need to do is use the recall code. Just say to him, activate A321 recall code Violet.
I remember it all. From before. Zimmer, the Commonwealth, the Institute. My God, all those runners I brought down!
As it turns out, Harkness, who is the chief of the Rivet City security, was a courser from the Institute who deserted and escaped with the help of the railroad. Because I promised to not snitch on him, he gives me both permission to murder Dr. Zimmer and his unique plasma weapon. It's a slightly better plasma rifle, so not entirely mind-blowing. But it is still a plasma rifle, so let's go give it a spin against Dr. Zimmer. However, I restrain my itchy trigger finger so I can get the other reward. Wired Reflexes is a perk that improves my VATS accuracy, considering that VATS attacks have a higher chance to crit, plus Grim Ripper Sprint being broken in this game. This perk is amazing for my build, but Zimmer gifting me something good won't spare him from my wrath.
What do you think?
And of course, I send Sister with them, so they can rot in hell together. And the final task from Moira has me go to the local Robco facility and see if I can restart the robots found there. This is the reason why I needed 50 points in science, as the optional objective has me hack this average level terminal.
Your cooperation is requested. Move along, please.
This is the last thing I need to do, and I could end the episode here. But you know what is near the Robco facility? That's right, Tenpenny Tower. Now, taking into account my insatiable hatred toward slavery, and the fact I have helped some marginalized groups in the wasteland like Harkness the Synth and May Wong the former slave, you would think I would side with Roy Phillips, overthrow Tenpenny, and help make a more tolerable society towards ghouls. If I'm honest with you, I think this quest is not very good, as it tries to be a pick-your-poison scenario. But despite losing karma for killing Roy and his friends, they will ask me to kill everyone in the tower, or if I try to go the pacifist route, they will kill the residents themselves. With no reason to side with the psychopaths, I will murder all three of them. That doesn't mean Tenpenny is my pal. Oh, he'll get what's coming to him. On a brighter note, turning Roy the mass murderer into goo leveled me up. This time I take the commando perk, so I can have even better VATS accuracy with rifles. Here's when I can encounter my first feral ghouls of the playthrough. They are not very tanky, with the exception of the glowing one. But that's because the Reaver variant doesn't start spawning until much later on. So for now, it's a relaxing stroll through the metro tunnels. As for Michael and Bessie, they didn't put up much fight, especially Bessie, who I always find sleeping. At least I can take Michael's motorcycle helmet, which protects me more.
done. And for all your nasty attitude, I think the quips made it a lot more entertaining to read. That's bound to help. For all your hard work, I want you to have this mini nuke. I kept meaning to use it to dig a well, but honestly, it just makes me nervous. Now, I just need to do a few last tweaks and it'll be ready to print and distribute. Thanks for all the help.
And here's the perk that I got. Survival Guru. It is the best version of this perk, as if I'm snide enough, then I can get 3% extra crit chance. It doesn't sound like much, but remember, 1 point of luck give 1% crit chance, so this basically gives me 3 points in luck. However, before I end the episode, there's still one more person I need to visit. I hope you burn in hell. You decrepit son of a bitch.
Can't stop to check. What brutality!
And so, I helped Moira Brown complete her dream of writing the perfect wasteland survival guide, helping along the way an escaped courser, and taking down many evil people who won't hurt anyone anymore. I hope you liked the episode. I, for one, really enjoyed myself. Never realized how early I could complete this quest. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next episode, where I follow a lead on my father that takes me to the Galaxy News radio building. And finally, here's today's kill count. Roll the doom music.